Hello everybody and welcome back to another 2024 election prediction. This election prediction is between Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, versus Donald Trump, the former President of the United States. Now again, this is 2024. This is if Biden is not in good health and he is not going to run. Harris is most likely going to win the nomination in that case. And Kamala Harris has a, big chance of being the Democratic nominee in 2024. Now, that does not mean that she would win the general election against Trump. Now, going to her approval ratings, the newest poll that was taken, it kind of throws everything off. Because, everything is going normal, right? And then she drops a bit. 34%. She was known for being around there. She was earlier. Look at, some of the polls are just way off. We look at this one. Right here, she drops for like a day, and then she climbs right back up. Why would that be the case? There was no significant happening on that day, November 5th, so, November 7th, actually, so, some polls are off. I think this is one of them, because she, goes up on both sides, both sides goes up. Disapproves has gained 10 points, 7 points. Disapprove has gained 7 points, and approve has gained 9 points, right? So why would it go up suddenly on both sides? That just shows that more people are, it basically, when you look at these, like 47 and 40, that doesn't add up to 100%, right? It doesn't add up to 100%. So that rest of those votes are neutral. They don't really know. They're very neutral about it. But, so it going up means that there's suddenly a bunch of less people, about 10% of people being not neutral anymore. And nothing significant has happened, so that kind of just is weird. So I'm going to back away from this. I do not think 44% of Americans approve of her job. I'm going to keep it around 35%, 34%. I think it is around here. It was up for a bit. She dropped again, 38, and then she dropped more, and then now she's at, I'll even do like 37%, in between these two. So, yeah, my point is just that this latest poll, both sides jumped up. I don't really see that as very accurate. And Kamala Harris is extremely unpopular. So, let's get into it. California and Washington are two states that aren't going to flip, California being her home state, or they're not going to be likely, I meant to say. So, California and Washington will stay. Hawaii will stay. At this time, I do see Illinois staying, Oh, wait, let me pull up map. Alright, here. Alright, sorry about this. I was not prepared for this video. Alright, so I'm just trying to get the 2020 election here. And Alright, I have it, sorry. So, this is the 2020 map. We're going to need it. So, going back to Y-Maps, in Illinois, it went to Biden by 17 points. I don't know. Hillary won by 17 points, and Hillary's not very popular. So, saying that Hillary did better in Illinois than Biden actually. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I never even knew that. That's pretty impressive. But I think it's going to be pretty narrow, like whether or not it's going to be solid or likely. And in my description, you could see my margins: 15%, 15% for likely, and then 1 to 5% for lean, and then 1% and under for tilt. I think it's going to be pretty narrow to becoming likely, but I do think Illinois will stay solidly for Kamala Harris. But again, I think it's going to be pretty narrow. Maryland will go solid, and Delaware, just because it is the president's home state, I do think would nearly go solidly for her. DC would go solidly. New Jersey, I see Harris winning New Jersey by a solid margin. I think she's going to do just fine here. New York will be solid for her. Vermont, Massachusetts, Colorado, Rhode Island, and I think Maine's first would go solidly for her. So these are all the solid states for Kamala Harris. Going to solid states for Trump: Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska's 1st and 3rd districts, along with Nebraska at large. I think Kansas would go back to a solid. Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee. Oh my god, I'm clicking on the wrong states. Jeez. Mississippi, Alabama, West Virginia, and Indiana. I think these would be the solid states for Donald Trump. So, after solid states, we have 176 for Kamala Harris and 113 for Donald J. Trump. Alright, moving on for likely states for Kamala Harris. I think Maine at large would be likely for Kamala Harris, as it was in 2020. Maine at large is one of those, I guess, 2 electoral votes that you could say, that are almost always going to be likely for the Democratic Party. Because same goes for Alaska with the Republican Party. If it's around 10 points, and we're not going to see a shift to 5 points, or 6 points really, then it's going to stay likely. I mean, we're not going to see a shift of 6 points to the right. I really don't see it. Maybe national we could, but not in Maine at large. National due to the red states. But yeah. Anyway, alright, Oregon. Oregon, you might have been surprised I didn't give it solidly for her. But I mean, Biden only won it by 16.1%. Think about the shift mixed with these two things. Harris's unpopularity and Biden's popularity, and Biden's unpopularity, Biden's approval ratings. These approval ratings, I mean, if Biden won it by 16.1%, it's going to shift more than 1.1%. National, overall, in the state of Oregon, in Maine, too, which, I noted before, it's going to shift more than 1.1%. It's as simple as that. So Oregon will be likely. Plus, Hillary Clinton won it by a likely margin in the year 2016. She won it by only 11 points. I think it could go down to 9 or 10, to be frank. Moving on. Really, these are the only 2 solid states for Kamala Harris. Likely states. We'll get to Virginia. Virginia, I still kind of gotta make my mind up. Alright, likely states for Donald Trump. Alaska, I do think is one of them. I noted this before, along with Maine at large. It's around 10 points, and it's not going to shift 6 points either way to make it lean or solid. Alright, South Carolina. Sure, Kamala Harris is African American, but it's not shifting. It's not shifting 6 points. It's around 11.5% for Trump in 2020. So it will not shift that extra 5 points to go solidly for him. Maybe if it was someone a bit more unpopular than Kamala Harris, and if Kamala Harris was not African American, maybe, I don't know, but she's not going to do well in these southern states. I really don't see it. Iowa and Ohio, these are 2 states that, some Democrats expected that they could, or thought that they could win it. Iowa went to Trump in 2016 by 9.4, and Ohio went by 8.1. Go to 2020, and note that these were both Obama states in 2008 and 2012. Iowa by likely, Ohio by lean. But go to 2020, Trump wins Iowa by 8.1 points, and Ohio by 8 points. So we see a very little shift here. Very little. And, maybe that was because Biden, obviously, Amy Klobuchar is going to do better here. A few Democrats are going to do better here than than Biden did, because they have this appeal here, this a Midwestern appeal, if they do have one. But Kamala Harris does not at all. Mixed with her unpopularity and Biden's unpopularity, and just the overall the bad national environment for the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris can say goodbye to Iowa and Ohio, frankly. Same goes for Nebraska second. This is, another area where Kamala Harris has absolutely no appeal. This one electoral vote will also go to Donald Trump by a likely margin. Maine second will be a likely margin. It went solidly for Trump in 2016, and it's one of these states that didn't shift a whole lot. Shifted 3 points, about 9.9 points. 2.9 points, something like that. And with Harris, Trump will only increase. It's another one of those states. All right, moving on. Trump. Texas. Yeah, let's go to Texas. Texas will definitely be likely for Trump. Because, Kamala Harris isn't doing better here than Biden. It's as simple as that. She's not. Trump won it by 5.6%. He won in 2016 by 9 points. And it's not going to shift 10 points. I can guarantee you that. It's not going to shift 10 points to the right here. And it's not going to shift It's not going to shift 2 points to the left either, because it's not going any more left because how unpopular Biden and Harris are. Texas, is surely going to be likely for Donald Trump in a Trump versus Harris scenario at this point in time. Obviously, everything could change by 2024. Biden could be popular, Harris could be popular, whatever. All right. So I do think that these are the only likely states for Donald Trump, and these are the only likely states for Kamala Harris. So the rest will be lean and possibly even tilt. Alright, let's do this. New Mexico and Colorado are two states that I do think will be lean for Kamala Harris. Going to her approval ratings, the 35% and then the jump to 44%. I don't see her boosting 9 points in a day. I just don't see it. I'm for a loss of words. That poll, I'm not trusting that poll where it jumped up. I think this is the range that we want to be, about the 47% mark where she dropped right here. I think that's more accurate than this newest poll, because there's nothing that could have boosted her that more there is, but nothing that happened so that would have boosted her that much. Just with that, the states of New Mexico and Colorado, I just don't see it. Going to 2020, they both went to Biden by a likely margin. In 2016, Colorado went to Hillary by only 4.9%, and New Mexico was only 3.2% away from going lean also. So, you can kind of see how 2016 shows us that with an unpopular nominee, these two states can definitely decrease. These are states that where they could, where especially in Colorado, voters are less certain to vote on party lines. They're more willing to vote for the other party, right? So with an unpopular Harris, I think that both of these states would go lean for her, but they're not ready to flip. Moving on. Going to Arizona, I think that Trump will win the state by a lean margin, along with the state of Nevada. Just the unpopularity of Biden and Harris in every single state, they're going to decrease in vote. Maybe not, because we see a few states where Trump increased in 2020, where states shifted to the right a little bit. But, Harris is just so unpopular. Most Americans do not approve of the job that she's doing. So Nevada and Arizona are two states that I think Trump would flip. So these are flipped states. Arizona went to Trump in 2016, but went to Biden narrowly in 2020. This is a very purple state, one of the most purple states in the nation. It can really go either way. And with an unpopular Harris, and sure, Trump is also unpopular, but not as unpopular as Harris, it would go to Trump. And then Nevada was a state that went to Hillary in 2016 and Biden again. But I do see this as a state that could shift 4 points to the right with Kamala Harris's unpopularity. Alright, let's go to the South. Florida, lean Trump. This is a state that shifted to the right. I believe there's only two states that shifted to the right in 2020. I could be wrong, but I do think so. The states of Illinois and Florida. Florida is one of these states. I don't see him doing better, or I don't see this as a margin of over 5 points. Saying just 22 years earlier, 24 years earlier in 2024, this state was decided by 500 votes in Bush v. Gore. So Florida, I do think, would go to Trump. Harris has I think it could be a likely margin. I really see. I'm actually going to switch it to a likely margin. Thinking about it again, thinking about how it's only going to shift to the right. Florida, it's just, sorry to switch it again, because I know people kind of hate when I do that. But I think Florida will go likely for Trump. I think he'll win just over 5%. The margin of 5% in the state. Georgia, I think, is going to go lean Trump, and I think that North Carolina is going to go lean Trump. These two southern states, African Americans, I don't think they're going to turn out for Harris. What has she done to help them? They voted for Biden because he was Obama's vice president, and Obama obviously is African American, and that's why they voted for him. You always have to have a reason for African Americans to vote for you. Harris hasn't done much. I mean, she's African American, but she hasn't tried to do anything like to help African Americans. I mean, when you think of voting rights, you think of Biden trying to pass the bill. Of course, it's blocked by the Senate. But you think of Biden. Harris hasn't. I mean, it's this too. Harris hasn't done much as vice president. She really hasn't. I remember watching an interview with her one day after she and Biden won the election. She said that she will not be your typical vice president. She said that she will do more than typical vice presidents, and that has not proved to be true at all. At all. She has not done anything. She has been your typical do-nothing vice president. So, moving on. Virginia, I mean, I'm ready to make this tilt, but I mean, overall, I do think Virginia would stay lean Harris. I mean, remember, Virginia has rejected Trump twice. 3 times, actually. 2016 election, 2020 election, then the 2021 gubernatorial election, you could say, rejected Trump. Because Glenn Youngkin won the governorship by distancing himself away from Trump. He didn't just turn out Trump votes, right? He turned out moderate Republicans who were unpopular with, were just moderates in general, and conservatives who were unhappy with the Biden administration. So Virginia, I do think, would go blue. Moving to New Hampshire, I mean, I at this point in time, I think it's going to be tilt either way, but I think New Hampshire is going to be tilt Trump. Why not? I mean, going to 2016, this is a state that was decided by a handful of votes. It went to Clinton by 0.37%. In my mind, that's a 50-50 split. It's 46.83% to 46.46%. It's so close. It's just a handful of votes, as I said. And, I mean, it really doesn't mean anything. Those few extra votes that Clinton got that tilted the state to her. It really does not mean much. And I think that in a state like New Hampshire, especially in a rural state like New Hampshire, I think Harris is going to be less popular than Hillary Clinton. So why wouldn't it go tilt Trump, you know? Why wouldn't it? Minnesota, I mean, I'm really willing to give the state to Trump. I think it's going to be tilt either way, like New Hampshire. But if Hillary could win it, I mean, remember, I think Minnesota's Minnesota is a state, unlike New Hampshire, Minnesota is a state where I don't see Harris doing much worse than Hillary Clinton, because this is more of a Democratic state. This is a state that has more voters who vote on party lines, more Democrats who will always vote for the Democratic Party, rather than the more conservative state of New Hampshire. So Minnesota, I do think Harris can narrowly win. I think it could go to Trump too, but because Clinton won it by 1.5%, Harris might decrease a bit, but still, that will make it a tilt margin, but still, it will not tilt the state to Trump. So now the blue wall, I mean, it's going to go to Trump. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. These 3 states, I guess I'll make Michigan tilt because Kamala Harris will turn out a few African Americans. But I mean, just with her unpopularity, she has no shot here. So Trump wins with 316 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 222. Donald Trump becomes the first, the second president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Grover Cleveland was the first. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Check out the description. Check out all the other channels in the description of the video. And, subscribe, and I hope to see you for the next video. And make sure to comment ideas down below. I really love to hear ideas for the next video. So, thank you.